In some parts of the world, riding a train is far from an ordinary journey. Some railways are built along the edge of cliffs, some pass straight through crowded markets, and others cut across the harshest deserts on Earth. In places like these, there is almost no room for error. One mistake can mean disaster. Every track carries risks too dangerous to be considered normal. This is not just about transportation, but about humanity pushing against nature and gambling with danger in order to keep moving forward. These are the 8 most extreme railway routes in the world.
Number 8. Death Railway, Thailand and Myanmar.
The Death Railway is one of the darkest railway projects in world history. Built during World War II, the construction reportedly claimed more than 100,000 lives. Most of the victims were prisoners of war and forced laborers who worked under brutal conditions in tropical jungles and steep mountains. Landslides, disease, starvation, and the lack of proper equipment turned the construction of this railway into a nightmare. Workers were forced to cut through dense jungle, unstable mountains, and dangerous cliffs with almost no modern tools available. Thousands of laborers suffered from exhaustion, malnutrition, tropical illnesses, and brutal working conditions every single day. Elephants were even used to transport heavy materials through the muddy terrain because ordinary machinery simply could not survive the environment. Many workers died before the railway was ever completed, leaving behind one of the darkest chapters in railway history. Today, parts of the railway in Thailand are still active, carrying tourists across the same tracks where so many lives were lost, serving as a haunting reminder of the tragedy and human suffering that took place there.
Number 7. Bishwa Ijtema Special Train, Bangladesh.
The Bishwa Ijtema Special Train in Bangladesh is known as one of the most extreme transportation phenomena in the world. Although the train was designed to carry around 1,000 passengers, the actual number often reaches many times that capacity. Thousands of people pack inside the cars, hang from the sides, and even sit on the roof. From a distance, the train looks like a moving sea of human bodies. The journey is incredibly dangerous. Passengers riding on the roof must constantly duck to avoid high-voltage power lines, signal boards, and tree branches hanging over the tracks. When the train is completely full, the roof and outer sides become the only available space. Despite the risks, the train continues operating every day because for many people, there is simply no other option.
Number 6. Tren a las Nubes, Argentina.
Train to the Clouds in Argentina is considered one of the highest railway routes in the world, reaching elevations of more than 4,200 meters above sea level. At that altitude, the air becomes much thinner and oxygen levels drop significantly. Many passengers begin to experience dizziness, shortness of breath, and headaches caused by altitude sickness. Even simple activities like walking inside the train can suddenly feel exhausting. Because of these extreme conditions, every train car is equipped with oxygen tanks and medical staff who remain on standby throughout the journey. The railway crosses the vast and barren Andes Mountains, passing rocky valleys, steep cliffs, and tracks that appear to hang above the mountains. Since it is called Train to the Clouds, the train often looks as if it is floating above the clouds when viewed from a distance, especially when thick fog and clouds surround the mountain route. The highlight of the journey is the La Polvoria Viaduct, a massive steel bridge suspended above a deep canyon. As the train slowly moves across the bridge, strong mountain winds cause the entire structure to sway gently. From the windows, passengers can see the open canyon directly beneath the tracks, with endless views of the Andes stretching into the horizon. The journey is not only thrilling, but also one of the most spectacular railway experiences in the world.
Number 5. Hanoi Train Street, Vietnam.
Hanoi Train Street in Vietnam is a railway route that runs directly through a densely populated residential area. In some sections, the distance between the passing train and nearby homes is only around 30 to 50 centimeters. Despite how dangerous it looks, the area has become one of the most famous tourist attractions in Vietnam. Whenever a train approaches, cafe owners and local residents quickly move chairs, tables, and belongings away from the tracks. Visitors are also forced to stand tightly against the walls so the train can pass safely. However, people still need to be extremely careful because standing even slightly too close to the middle of the track can be very dangerous. When the train passes through, the gap is incredibly narrow and leaves almost no room at all. Once the train has passed, everything immediately returns to normal, as if nothing happened. The railway remains a unique example of how everyday life can exist side by side with one of the most extreme transportation routes in the world.
Number 4. Curitiba Paranagua Railway, Brazil.
Brazil's Curitiba-Paranagua Railway was built through steep cliffs, dense rainforests, and landslide-prone terrain. Many European engineers originally refused the project because they considered it impossible and too dangerous. Construction claimed many lives due to accidents, tunnel collapses, and tropical diseases. Even today, the railway remains attached to narrow cliff walls with deep drops directly beside the tracks, creating one of the most intense train journeys in South America.
Number 3. Gokteik Viaduct, Myanmar.
The Gokteik Viaduct in Myanmar is a railway bridge that is more than 120 years old and is still actively used today. When it was first built in 1900, it was considered the tallest railway bridge in the world and one of the greatest engineering achievements of its time. The massive steel structure stretches across a deep canyon surrounded by tropical forests and misty mountains in northern Myanmar. Because the steel structure is extremely old, trains are required to cross the bridge at very slow speeds to reduce excessive vibrations. As the train slowly moves across the towering steel tracks, the sound of grinding wheels and shaking metal can be clearly felt inside the carriages. From the windows, passengers can look directly down into the deep canyon beneath the rails, with almost no high barriers along the sides of the bridge, creating a view that feels both breathtaking and terrifying. In some sections, the bridge feels so narrow that the train appears to be floating freely in the air. The sight of dense green forests and the valley far below only adds to the fear and excitement of the journey. Despite standing for more than a century and enduring harsh weather conditions, the Gokteik Viaduct remains one of the most iconic and dangerous railway routes in Southeast Asia.
Number 2. Daju Cliff Railway, China.
The Daju Cliff Railway in China runs along steep mountain cliffs, with parts of the track hanging directly above ravines more than 1,000 meters deep. The railway is attached to nearly vertical rock walls, creating a route that looks both extreme and terrifying. Along much of the journey, there is almost no emergency space or safety zone beside the tracks, making every trip feel incredibly dangerous. As the train moves through the mountains, passengers can see massive open drop-offs directly beside the railway. Thick fog can also appear suddenly, reducing visibility to almost zero within minutes. When this happens, the journey feels as if the train is moving through empty space, with no clear view of what lies ahead or below. Despite the frightening environment, the electric-powered train moves surprisingly smoothly and steadily along the dangerous cliffs. The contrast between modern railway technology and the harsh mountain landscape makes the Daju Cliff Railway one of the most thrilling and breathtaking railway routes in China.
Number 1. Tianshan Canyon Railway, China.
The railway passing through the Tianshan Canyon in Kuka, China, is considered one of the most fragile yet beautiful railway routes ever built. The tracks cut directly through towering red sandstone cliffs that may look solid from a distance, but are actually extremely unstable. When exposed to rainwater, erosion, or strong vibrations, the rock formations can crack and collapse without warning. Heavy coal trains regularly pass through this narrow canyon, and the enormous weight of the locomotives creates constant vibrations along the cliffs. Even small tremors can trigger falling rocks or minor landslides near the tracks. Because of this, engineers and train operators must continuously monitor the geology and weather conditions throughout the route. In some sections, the train moves slowly through areas where the cliffs rise almost vertically on both sides, creating a dramatic but dangerous atmosphere. Despite the risks, the scenery remains breathtaking. Long trains winding between deep red canyon walls have turned the railway into one of the most visually stunning routes in China. However, due to unstable terrain and unpredictable weather, the railway only operates for a few months each year, making every journey through the canyon feel rare and unforgettable.